All right, guys, we are back in the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray. We're gonna do some track work here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Start off with a couple launch controls and get some laps out here on track. We are in PTM, so we have traction off. We hit the Z-mode button a couple times, and then you scroll to the launch control screen, and basically all you have to do from there is press and hold the brake until it says it's ready. Flat out on the accelerator, and then let off, and you're off to the races. All right. Awesome. Tires are cold, tires are fresh on this car, so a little bit more wheel spin than we would get normally, but feels pretty awesome. All right, let's do one more launch here. Awesome. Biggest difference that I'm noticing today between these track cars and the street cars that we drove yesterday, of course, grip from these PS4Ss is pretty incredible, but also braking performance. These pads have had a chance to get bedded in on track and have seen some pretty good use, and I've got to say the bite is just fantastic on these brake pads. Yesterday I was running into some issues where that transition between regen to pad on rotor was a little bit light, and those pads just hadn't had a proper bed-in procedure yet. Cars had about 1,000 miles on them. These feel proper. This is how it should be. All right, so we're going to be doing a siding lap here around Pikes Peak International Raceway. Give you guys an idea of what this track is like. Already feeling pretty comfortable in the car. Did an autocross course earlier today with a little bit of drifting, a skid pad. So this should be a lot of fun coming out here. We're going to be doing some lead follow, change positions, and then I'm going to be going out and doing 4 laps on my own, and hopefully give you guys an idea of what this new E-Ray is like to drive at the limit. Pretty straightforward course out here. They've got braking markers, turn-in markers, apexes, pretty much everything we need to have a fun, safe time out here today. We're just gonna leave it on drive so we don't have to worry too much about shifting, gears, all that stuff. You just gotta love the power and traction out of corners with this e-all-wheel drive system. It is just incredible. That electric motor whine kind of sounds like a supercharger. It makes all the right noises. Transition from the Roval to the infield, that's going to be fun at speed. Alright, lead follow behind the lead here. Just awesome handling here. This is amazing. Really cool being able to see this car move around in front of us. Really well balanced at the limit. is so sharp. There's so much grip there. Hop the curb here. Alright, so we're going to pause, let people catch up a little bit. We'll do a maximum discharge lap here. Those brakes working. Awesome, cool down lap here. Warmest oil temp got was 212. Tires are warm, e-all-wheel drive system held up beautifully. We'll do a charge plus on lap here, kind of refill that e-all-wheel drive battery for the front electric motor. You can see how quickly that battery charges up. 61%, 62%. 63%, 64, pretty awesome. Steering weight's up a little bit in Charge Plus mode. It's not really a mode that you want to drive on a daily basis, but for track, it does work pretty nicely. I didn't have this on while we were doing laps. We were pretty much maximum discharge the whole time. And the battery maintained about a 50% level of charge with these laps. What a capable car. Just a lot of fun to have out here. Only thing I noticed when really hustling, I kept hitting the steering wheel buttons with my hands. So you gotta be a little bit more aware of that.
Well
awesome.
done, Turbo.
Thank you, thank you. That was great. Thanks for speeding up at the end.
I know, we had a huge gap.
Yeah.
So you should be good to send him out, right? All right. Go get like 5 laps in. Okay. Send it. Have
awesome.
fun. Do a cool down at the end. You're pretty good. You'll get about 2 laps on that, and then you might want to charge Charge Plus.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
There, you're gonna go down. You're gonna line up at the end. There's gonna be a gentleman down there in the black shirt. He will. He'll send you when he's ready.
Got it.
So
awesome. Thanks.
You can head down there and wait if you want.
Cool.
He's good.
All right, we're gonna do some solo laps here. Guys, this E-Ray is such an impressive package. It can do it all. It can do winter driving, track work, daily, get about 450, maybe more miles out of a tank on this during a road trip. That's part of the beauty, is that this thing gets about as good fuel economy as the C8 Stingray, and it really gives you a lot of range between fill-ups, which is something you can't really say about the Z06. And that's just kind of a convenience thing. If anything, it's almost a luxury in today's modern landscape of cars that struggle to get over 250, 300 miles to a tank. In this, I think you could pretty reasonably expect 300 or 400 miles to a tank on a regular basis. The performance here is absolutely amazing, so well balanced on track. The all-wheel drive dynamics are really pretty unique to experience behind the wheel of a Corvette, and it's just been expertly calibrated and tuned. This car at the limit is just a real pleasure. It's so easy to drive. It's so much fun. Steering's a little bit on the heavier side, but so are the brakes, and I like how these controls kind of match each other. This is just a really, really nice overall package. Very well balanced and feels cohesive. The e-Assist front electric motor just does magical things at the limit, and it's kind of the party piece of this car. It really, really, really performs. If you want that torquey, immediate response, this almost has the immediacy of an electric car, but with that sound and the emotion from having a V8 and the whine, it sounds pretty good. I'm really liking the way this car sounds sitting in it. It really adds the excitement factor. At first I was a bit worried that if they had to retune the exhaust from the C8 Stingray, how this was going to sound, but that electric motor whine really adds to the experience.
So PTM3 will give you a little more slip.
Perfect, thanks. Awesome.
That's all right. Go.
Good, all right. So we're back into Charge Plus mode. We were running maximum discharge there for a couple laps. Ran things out pretty quickly, but this should give us some more battery. Bit of drag on that front axle, but that's okay. It's worth it for the extra power. You can definitely feel the power fall off once you lose all of that front battery power. light, really consistent pedal feel. Feedback through the chassis too. You really have a good idea of what's going on with this car, with this level of balance, slip. There isn't necessarily a ton of steering feel, but I can feel everything that's going on around me through my body and through my connection with the seat. Watch how fast that battery charges back up in Charge Plus mode. We're at 33% before this turn. Exiting the turn, we're at 36. And you can really feel it when it powers on. That extra torque out of corners is so noticeable. Giving us about an extra 50 horsepower there initially, and then kind of blending off. Might hold back just a little bit, get a bit more charge in the battery, let this guy go ahead some. Kind of lost count of what lap we're on, but
just follow him.
We'll get one more. All right, and then just like that, we're up to 60% again. Just left in drive, this feels great on its own. This car feels so good, man.
Yeah, so you kind of noticed everything we do. So the Charge Plus, it has two motives. It's to keep the battery up, and then it's got that strategic discharge strategy that's got a patented way that we use energy on corner exit, where it brings in energy where you need it, where the lap time matters the most, that corner exit.
Awesome.
And then it'll taper it off in the high speeds where you're already carrying that momentum, but it saves the battery. That gives you that consistent fall off like you'd expect from a track car. And then the max deplete is, as you'd expect, that's the no kidding fastest the car is gonna do. But from a corner entry, mid-corner, corner exit standpoint, both modes have that all-wheel drive foundation.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't realize it. I was in maximum discharge pretty much the whole lead follow session, but the first couple of rounds, the first few laps, we weren't going so fast, so it maintained.
Right.
But when you're really on it, it does discharge pretty quickly.
Right.
And I can see why you'd want to be in Charge Plus on track.
Right. Yeah, it really depends what you're trying to do, right? Like if you've got your friends out there and you're doing 15 laps, the Charge Plus method is a nice way to have that gradual performance that's really consistent and still fast. But if you're out setting a time attack lap, you want that qualifying max discharge.
Yep. Yeah, you can really feel the car open up a little bit less drag on the front axle.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, you're able to get those heavy brake zones, right? We're recovering during your hard ABS stops as you're pointing it to the apex. Yep. We're getting full regen recovery there, and even blending that as you point to the car. So we wanted the Corvette to still be nimble under the brakes like a Z06.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it feels just awesome. I mean, this is supercar levels of performance here.
Right.
So
glad to hear. Good job, man.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. All right, guys, there's another video on track with the Corvette E-Ray. Thanks so much for watching. Still attached to my my guy here. There we go. Got it. Thanks. Pretty nice spec too. Carbon fiber wheels, black exterior. these exhaust tips have seasoned a little bit. And that's what a properly bedded set of brakes look like. Yeah, you can see the transfer of pad material onto the rotor. Big improvement in stopping today versus the street cars that we drove yesterday that only had about 1,000 miles on them. You can see a bit of melting on the backing plate there, but man, everything holds up beautifully on this car. Plenty of grip here on these PS4S's. No sidewall degradation. And I do believe these cars have the track alignment. They've got a little bit more negative camber. This is something you can take to the dealer and have done before you take it out to the track. Will help with tire wear, turn in, and overall stability to the car while it's out on the race course. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this series of videos on the E-Ray. We've done just about everything we wanted to in this car this week, so stay tuned for more. Hopefully we'll get some time in this over the winter in Michigan and slide around some of the snow. That's it for this one. We'll see you guys later. Take care. Flaps on here. That adds a little over another 300 pounds of downforce at higher speeds. That's an accessory that will come with every E-Ray that you can attach for the track if you want to. We also have the carbon fiber wheels. There is a slightly different steering calibration for these just because they are so much lighter and the turn-in on them is so much sharper than with the forged wheels.